What's up, y'all? It's Kirsten from Path to Summit LLC, a virtual project management firm that provides project staffing, project guidance, and creates PMOs for organizations all over the globe. We are going to start from scratch, make some projects, tie them up into a portfolio, as well as create a sort of timeline view in that portfolio, which can be kind of tricky to do. Having all of our stuff in one space is going to allow us to make better decisions. It's visibility for everybody, regardless of what department they're in, regardless of what level they have. So come on, let's go build it. I made this sample event project, and right now it's showing me the list format of all of the tasks within it. I also made another project over here about timelines that's completely blank, and it's on the timeline view. Let's go back to the sample event project. What I'm going to do before making it a template and loading up all of my event timelines right in it, I'm going to attach it. Every single task, I'm going to attach this event timeline project. You can do that easily by opening up the task, add to projects. I'm going to type in timeline, and there it is, event timelines. Go through every single one of these and make sure that they are all added. Now that I've added every single task to the event timelines project, I'm going to go ahead and click on that down arrow next to the title, sample event project. I'm going to save it as a template. Let's name it event project template. Anyone on the team can edit, but of course, if you want different privacy levels, you can click right here. I'm going to click create template. Now we get to wait for it to load. Here, it's giving us the opportunity to build out our template a little further. For example, if defining the event purpose goals is always done by Kirsten, or some of these things are always done by Kirsten, we can just go ahead and assign that in the template up front, save ourselves a couple of clicks. I'm going to go through and make sure that everything is assigned to me because I'm shooting this video. You can select multiple tasks at the same time, and then you can save clicks again by just clicking it once. Good. Next, we can edit the overview. This is optional, but if you wanted to give a little description about what these types of projects are about, you can type them in right here, add a link to any standard operating procedures, guides, resources, so that every single event project that's utilized with this template would have that same instruction and information. Next, let's save it as event project template. Again, you can update the description right here, including any links to other resources, embeds. You can update who has access to this template. And you can add it directly to any projects or portfolios, so they would always be added to those portfolios. At this point in the video, I haven't created my portfolio yet, so I'm just going to skip this. I'm going to click on done. Let's create some more event projects. Clicking on create, I'm going to go ahead and choose project. And then I'm going to use a template from my library. Here is my event project template. This is the template that I'd like to use. This first event, I'm going to call the ABC Gala event. Go ahead and create that project. As you can see, the ABC Gala event is being created right before our very eyes using that template that we just created. While ABC Gala is being created, I'm going to go back and do it again just for fun. Why not, right? Project, let's choose event project template. Let's say use template, and let's go ahead and call this one XYZ Go Saints event. Create project. Go Saints event is being created right now. While that event is being created, I'm going to jump back over to the ABC Gala event. I'm going to start filling it out with some due dates. For the start date, I'm going to select today. With the end date, I'm going to go there. This will look really nice on the timeline if I actually create a start date through an end date. And that can include when someone should start working on it, as well as when it's due by. For the sake of time, I'm just picking a bunch of start and end dates, y'all. They don't pertain to anything. It was just an example. All of my dates have been filled out for the ABC Gala event, and I just wanted to make sure that it is attached to the other project I had created, if y'all remember, called the event timelines right there. So I can click on any of these and they will show up within the ABC Gala event as well as the event timelines. Let's head over to the XYZ Go Saints event and fill out all of the due dates as we did in the ABC Gala event. I'm going to double check a couple of these tasks and make sure that they're also attached to that other project that I made, the event timelines. Next, I'm taking a look at the event timelines project. I'm going to click on the list and I'm going to take a look at how these are sorted. Well, they aren't really sorted. So what I'm going to do is create a section and I'm going to call it ABC Gala. I'm going to create another section and call it XYZ Go Saints. I'm going to remove all of the tasks that are from the sample event project down here that don't have date by selecting them all and then just going ahead and deleting that. Next, I'm going to sort these different tasks into their appropriate sections. what events do they belong to? I can see that by clicking on it, having the menu expand and show me what projects it's attached to. After doing a quick sweep of them, I'm going to go ahead and highlight them and then move them to another section. This menu pops up at the bottom right here, so I can go ahead and move tasks between sections. This is going to be the ABC Gala section. Upon double checking, those were actually for the same, so let's move that over to the XYZ Ghost. These leftover tasks up here are going to be for the ABC Gala, so I'm going to highlight them all. And then I'm going to go ahead and move them between sections for the ABC Gala. I'm going to verify all of my tasks are within the right section. I'm going to click on Timeline again. Now you can see that all of these different pieces are actually populating within their sections that they're supposed to belong to. We can go ahead and hit sort again. Let's sort by start date. Now we have this really nice timeline that is organized by the different events. So why does this matter? Let's go ahead and create our portfolio together in Asana. I think you'll see what I'm getting at. I'm going to go to Portfolios. I'm going to click on New Portfolio. I'm going to name this portfolio events. I'm going to keep it public. Then I'm going to add that timeline, the XYZ Saints Gala, and the ABC Gala. Let's click continue. Let's show this in a timeline. Only projects that have milestones with a due date show up in timeline. You may see an empty timeline. Well, that's odd because we just made a timeline project. Let's go to our portfolio. Do you see how this timeline is blank? Bummer, dude, we just did all this work assigning dates. Why can't we show what the timelines are? I would have to actually create a whole new project, but I don't need to create a new project. I already have the information in there. So what do? I'm going to click back over to the event timelines and I'm going to go to the list. What I'm going to do is pick out what are the specific milestones of these two projects right here, instead of going through them in the projects individually. You can do either. Whatever makes your heart happy. I like to do it through this specific event timeline because if you remember, the projects are connected here and whatever happens in those projects is going to relay back to this specific board. They're added in both places. To turn tasks into milestones, I'm simply going to right-click over the completion and mark as a milestone. Assemble the event team, book the venue is going to be a milestone, and transportation and parking. Again, I'm going to go down to the ABC Gala and do the same thing, marking them as milestones. Now that I've done that, let's go back to our events portfolio, click on the timeline and see what's going on. Clicking on the timeline view of the events portfolio, I can see the ABC Gala event as well as the event timelines right here. So where is the XYZ Go Saint? When clicking on the timeline view, as we scroll to the right, the XYZ Go Saints event is going to pop up. Why is that? Why wasn't it there to begin with? Well, that's because that project has some later dates than the ABC Gala event. And so as we get closer to those dates approaching, they will appear on this events portfolio timeline. Now within our portfolio, we have a complete list of all of our tasks, overviews of each of the projects, as well as a timeline that's actually usable. Again, in order to add a timeline, we need to make an event timeline specific project, and then add all the tasks from the other projects, sort them into sections, and then we can view it right here in our portfolio. When we take a look at the overview tab of the events portfolio, this is actually the overview of everything that's included within the portfolio. So when we look at what's the status, we're actually looking at the portfolio as a whole. Are all of these events on track? Is the portfolio itself at risk? Are we off track? You can create a project summary right here by kicking it off with, we're on track. You can drag and drop different highlights right in here from the side, as well as manually input what the next steps are going to be or any risks that you foresee. Going back to the list in the events portfolio, we can take a look at what the updates are for each project that is attached to the portfolio. If you see here in the ABC Gala event, there are no recent updates. If we click on this and then go to update it, we can say that this specific event is on track, at risk, off track, on hold. Let's go ahead and say that this one is on track. You can draft this project update with AI. I'm going to keep it pretty simple and go ahead and provide my summary, no at-risk tasks at this time, and probably a couple of bullet points of what we're at. With several vendors in Colorado, working with venues in Denver and Fort Collins. Next steps, what I like to do is put in any approvals that are needed, as well as put in incomplete tasks. These will help us with what's coming up with workload, who's working on what. We can click on them even deeper to see what does that workload look like with the specific tasks. I'm going to click the back button. Once I post this, it is going to update directly in this portfolio. We can do the same thing for each of our projects so that individuals understand from a high-level view what's going on with all of these events. Now we can see two different types of statuses on two different events right here. As the tasks are marked complete, the task progress will automatically fill up. Portfolios provide this one centralized place for a 30,000-foot view, a bird's eye view into a collection of projects. People can provide the overall status. One place, overall status. This is a resource that's going to provide the executive leadership team, managerial team, C-suite level project team with a bird's eye view of what is going on without having to bother individual project team members. That's huge, y'all. And to be quite honest, they're really underutilized. I hope y'all found this video helpful. Please shout out in the comments if you have any questions. Have a great day. Have questions? Comment below. We actually respond. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Path to Summit channel for more project management tips, tricks, and software tutorials.